weekly AI and digital marketing live sessions. And for today, our topic is going to be on how to get clients on LinkedIn without paid ads. And we are going to use a tool called Waalaxy. And with the help of Claude AI, we are going to come up with some cool stuff. And the reason why this is so important is because every company, every business needs customers. Every business needs customers. Customers are the lifeline of any business, or leads. Leads are the lifeline of any business. So you never stop looking for leads or customers. And that is why this is so important that we talk about it. And there are two ways you can find leads. One is the organic way, and then the other way is like the paid ads, which is very fast. You spend a lot of money with platforms like Meta, LinkedIn, Google, TikTok, Instagram, and then you blast an ad out, which sees a lot of eyeballs. A lot of eyeballs sees the ads, and they kind of if they are interested in your service, then they can click and maybe sign up or buy from you, whatever it is, right? And the other one is the organic outreach, and that is what we are going to talk about today. And so for today, we are going to use Waalaxy, which is a LinkedIn automating tool, and with the help of a cloud chatbot or any chatbot that you have, ChatGPT. With the help of that, you can set up campaigns that can um, prospect clients for you on autopilot. And why is LinkedIn the number one place to find clients in 2026? And the reason is that LinkedIn is the new Facebook for business, right? It has over 1 billion plus professionals who are active right now as we talk. They are active on LinkedIn, showcasing their businesses, showcasing their work, their projects, and what have you. So, LinkedIn is the place you want to be when it comes to looking for clients for your business. When it comes to looking for leads, you want to be on LinkedIn. Facebook and all that are there, but when it comes to organic and connecting with business professionals or anything that to do with business, you want to be on LinkedIn. Also, LinkedIn is a place where you can get all the decision makers, right? If you advertise on Facebook for a particular service, you might not really get the eyeballs of decision makers like the vice president, the president, the CEO, the founder, the co-founder, all those people. If you want them, you are going to find them on LinkedIn. So whether you are a plumber, you are a dentist, you are a painter, you know whatever you do, you want to be on LinkedIn, because when you want to talk to people, you want to be talking to the decision makers, not the receptionist or the employees or the assistant manager. You want to be talking to decision makers. So LinkedIn is the place to find these people. 80% of B2B, 80% of B2B leads come from LinkedIn, right? 80% of B2B leads on social media come from LinkedIn. LinkedIn is considered a social platform. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all that, when you combine all of this, right, LinkedIn is bringing in 80% of the B2B leads. And that is huge, right? That is a lion's share of the market. And so that is the reason why you want to be on LinkedIn when it comes to prospecting for leads, especially if you want to go the organic route. LinkedIn also has a paid version, a um, paid version of marketing or ads, right? Just like Facebook. It's more expensive though, because you have to get your things right. The cheapest platform to do uh, paid ads is Facebook, and once you get that right, you can extrapolate it into all the different platforms. But yet, for today, our main concern is organic outreach. And there's also incredible organic outreach. That is what I'm saying. When you have a paid ad by Meta or any kind of paid ads, you just kind of put the ads out there. There are a lot of people who are going to come to you who don't know you, they don't know your service, they don't know anything about you, but they might buy from you. Now, when it comes to organic organic outreach, it builds trust, right? Because you connect with people and then you start conversation with them. You talk about this, you talk about that. You try to help them solve their problems, and brings trust. Now, when you are able to get a lead from LinkedIn and they become a customer, guess what? They know you, they are connected to you. That really makes them stay. So the retention for this kind of customers is higher than somebody who purchased from you online from a paid ad who doesn't know you. And so it's very, very important when you have an organic outreach, because these customers are going to stay faithful and loyal to you because they are connected to you on a deeper level, not just, you being a business they saw online and just made a purchase. So I hope that it's clear. And then the third part is that LinkedIn allows you to have these automating tools to help you with your outreach, even though they don't encourage this, as long as you stay within compliance and you don't do things that hurts the rules of engagement on LinkedIn platform, you are safe. So that gives you that flexibility to automate your campaigns on LinkedIn. And so I just want you to know that your first 10 clients, whether you are a painter, whether you are a coach, a consultant, a dentist, whatever you do, your customer is on LinkedIn. And there are strategies of how to find these people. And that is one of the things that we are going to get into today. And the tool in question today for demo is going to be Waalaxy. Waalaxy is an automated LinkedIn prospecting assistant. It helps you automate your outreach. It makes it feel natural when you are talking, right? So before I started using tools, I would just like select maybe 30, 40 people on LinkedIn, and then I'll just click, connect, 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 connect. I didn't know that I was even violating the rules of engagement on LinkedIn until recently. I realized that, I mean, not recently, but maybe 2, 3 years ago, I realized that I was doing everything wrongly. And I was just lucky that I never got banned, but a lot of people have been banned based on that. So this tool makes sure that you stay within the confines and we stay compliant with LinkedIn automation. So you set it up once and you forget about it. Not forget about it totally, but you set the whole campaign, which can, be applied to about 2,000 people. And all that you have to do is to just sit back and then start responding to them. If they don't respond, the automation keeps on going until maybe they book an appointment with you, or they get on your call, or they buy from you. And there's always a free plan available. What I always try to do on these live demo sessions is to try as much as possible to bring tools that have free plans so that you can always test drive it to make sure that this is something that you want before you make that financial commitment or investment. So, when you sign up with well, actually, you don't need any credit card. You can test drive it. If you like it, you like the templates, you like the dashboard and how things work, how it can integrate with other tools, then you can go ahead and buy. And there are over 100,000 plus users. That tells you that the tool is really good and is being used by so many people, by business owners, freelancers, coaches, consultants worldwide. And it also has an AI part of it in there, but I don't really use it. But you can use it. Waalaxy has an AI feature in there, but I try to use a standalone chatbot, which gives me more flexibility and customization as to what I want, not what Waalaxy wants to give me in their AI tool, because it doesn't have much, but having your using a chatbot can help you to really come up with the best prompt so that you can really generate your campaign outreach messages and then put them in Waalaxy. So there are four steps involved when you use Waalaxy, right? One, you are going to find your prospect on LinkedIn, either for free or with LinkedIn Navigator. The second step is you're going to add that list to your campaign in Waalaxy. And then after that, we are going to configure our messages or write our messages using our AI, whether in Waalaxy or using Claude Chatbot or ChatGPT. Once we do that, we are done. Then the next thing is the automating. The automation kicks in and is going to start doing its job based on the instructions that we've given it. And all that we need to do is to respond to our leads, the kind of questions they have, whether they are interested or they are not interested. It all depends on what you have going on and the kind of message that you have. So it's just a simple 5-step flow that runs on autopilot once you set it up, and it lets you focus on talking to the customers or talking to interested leads who really need your service rather than wasting time on people who might not even become customers at the end of the day, right? So this automation helps you to weed out all this unnecessary work that keeps you busy without bringing in money. So yeah, we've done with this. And why Waalaxy beats LinkedIn Sales Navigator for business owners, freelancers, and coaches. And this is very good. I thought about this because I knew that some of you know about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And so people will be asking, and I have the same question: why would I go for a tool that is, that is external of LinkedIn and bypass LinkedIn, internal or the platform prospecting tool itself? And this is what I learned, right? I found out that LinkedIn Navigator is more like a search tool, and Waalaxy is more like the automating tool. So let's see the difference between this and that. That will help you to understand why you want to go with Waalaxy instead of LinkedIn Navigator, or why you need both of them. So let's dissect this right away. So when it comes to LinkedIn Sales Navigator, it is a search tool. You find a prospect, but it cannot contact them manually, I mean, automatically. So it's going to show you where all the leads are hiding, but it's not going to contact this prospect automatically for you. You still manually have to reach out to every single person yourself, and that's the most tedious part of it. You can hire people to do this for you, and they are called like setters, and they charge anything from $500 a week to $2,000. It depends on what they are doing, right? Some people make all this outreach for you, and then they charge you for a fee. Um, it costs between 120 to 160 per month just for the search function of LinkedIn Navigator. It's also built for large enterprises sales team with big budgets. So if you have a sales team and a big sales team like insurance companies, travel and tours who make a lot of calls and all that kind of stuff, they are the people who really utilize, LinkedIn Navigator because they have bigger teams and they are looking for a lot of people. There's no automation. You cannot set up sequences. There's no follow ups, and requires Sales Navigator subscription on top of your LinkedIn account. So LinkedIn is free, but if you want to add LinkedIn Sales Navigator, it's about $120 every month. That's the minimum you will pay. If you pay yearly, then you get it for I think about $89 or something like that. But don't quote me on the price because prices keep on changing. I don't come to sell tools here. I just come to talk about what they can be used for. And when it comes to Waalaxy, it finds the prospect and automates the entire outreach sequence for you. It sends connection requests and follow up messages automatically every day. Free plans are available, and it's $43 a month if you decide to go with the minimum uh, plan. built specifically for freelancers, coaches, or for all business owners. And it's full automation, sequences, follow up, campaign management included, and it gives you a dashboard, cool with metrics and all that kind of stuff. I've used other LinkedIn prospecting tools that doesn't give you any metrics. You don't have any fancy board that gives you the amount of messages you are sending and how many people are responding and all that kind of stuff. And it works perfectly on your free LinkedIn account. So you don't have to make any upgrade to Sales Navigator in order to use it. You can use it standalone or with Sales Navigator, which makes Waalaxy go on steroids. Sales Navigator finds the fish, and Waalaxy catches them for you automatically. So that is how it is. And the pro tip is that if you can combine both of them, then you are going to have an effective, very effective campaign, but it's not required. But if you have it, it's a good thing to have, right? So let's move on to the next one. We are way, way, way behind. And why organic LinkedIn outreach beats paid ad every time. And I talked about this when my audio was off, but paid ads cost 500 to 5,000 per month minimum to see results, right? And it stops working the moment you stop paying. It feels intrusive and salesy to prospects, requires design, copywriting, and technical skills. No guarantee of return on investment. Algorithm changes can destroy your results overnight. And I've seen this over and over and over and over and over again. I was one time running a Facebook ad and I spent about 5K on this campaign, and all the feedback I was getting was just, do this, tweak that. But at the end of the day, I spent 5,000 before I got the right angle, what was resonating with my ICP or my ideal client. But at that point, there's no refund. You've lost that money. But it was more like I purchased the data. So going on paid ads is very expensive, and anything can happen, right? When the algorithm changes or there's an update of the software or something like that, you're gonna see everything is gonna mess up. I was in a group where, we used to run a lot of ads for insurance companies, and so on a particular day, you see that people are complaining, and it's just because there was an update at Facebook or something happened, and the algorithm just got out of hand, and nothing was converting, and it was just taking money away. So when we see that, we just turn our ads off so that we don't waste money for that day. Otherwise, everything will go down the drain. So paid ads come with all these things, but it's also the fastest way to get clients. If you have that packet, if you have those deep packets, then it's one of the things. But if you are starting out as a consultant or you are on a low budget, you're trying to find clients, then organic outreach is what you have to go with on LinkedIn. And you don't have to spend 500 to $5,000 a month, right? You can start with as little as $45 a month if you decide to go on the paid version. And if you slap on LinkedIn Navigator, that is still going to be less than $200 every month for you. So it starts completely free with Waalaxy free plan. It builds real relationship that lasts long term. Like I told you, you guys become connections on LinkedIn, so you kind of know this person to another level. It's not just a random person purchasing from you, but this is somebody you are connected with on LinkedIn. So this gives a long term relationship, and it feels personal and human, and so you know that you are dealing with a human being. That kind of gives you, there are some services that if you want to deal with somebody, you want to make sure that there's a human behind it. Who is that human behind that? It works with simple conversational messages anyone can write, right? It's easy to use. Well, as it's easy to use, and it compounds over time. As you are building this over time, you are building good relationships with business owners, with decision makers, and guess what? You are going to get referrals, and this is going to build up over time. It's like a compound interest, right? It accumulates over time. And Claude makes it even faster and more personalized than ever. So instead of using the native AI in Waalaxy, I can go a step further by adding Claude chatbot and coming up with my own messages that makes things nice. And this is like a tip over here. Paid ads rent you attention, but organic outreach builds you an audience that actually trusts you. So it's simple. It's simple. It's This is a no-brainer. You build relationship with people; they are going to trust you. So the honest note is that it takes longer than paid ads, as I said earlier. So you expect 2 to 4 weeks before replies start coming in, depending on how aggressive you set your campaign, but it requires daily consistency. As this is going on, you are getting the messages and you can be responding to them in that fashion. So let's see what we have next. And apart from Waalaxy, there are other tools out there. I've tested so many of them. Some of them are not listed here, but there is a Copilot LinkedIn automation tool. I tried it. I didn't really like it. It was just throwing money down the drain. It didn't have any intuitive dashboard for me to see results. Maybe it's changed right now, but I used that about 3 years ago. And these are the tools that I use right now: LinkedIn Navigator and Waalaxy currently. The last tool I stopped using before using Waalaxy about a month ago or 2 months ago it's called Ulink, but it's not a public facing software. If you need that software, it's more like a members only kind of tool. You have to send them an email and then they will approve you, because it's not out there. Even if you try to do a research on them, you're not going to find them. But that was one of the tools I was using. It's very expensive. I was paying $75 a month, plus I had to purchase um, Zapier subscription, which was also $29.99. So it was like $110 every month on top of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And so that was bringing me about $200, a month. And it wasn't that intuitive as Waalaxy. So when I found Waalaxy, I was like, this is a jackpot. I'm gonna go with this. But there are other tools like Expandy, Duck Soup, and Lemlist. All these tools are out there. You can test them out. I'm not gonna go into them because we're running out of time. But these are things that you can look into. But Waalaxy, I've tried and tested most of them. Waalaxy is the one that I think it's easy to learn, easy to set up, and also gives you that intuitive dashboard. And the price, the budget is great. And so getting clients is just one piece of the puzzle, right? Most consultants and businesses owners struggle to find clients. And why is that? It's not because they lack the skills, it's just because they've been doing it the wrong way. If even tried on LinkedIn looking for prospect, they might be doing it the manual way, or they might be doing it the wrong way. And also another reason is that nobody showed them how to do it properly. And that is why some of you are here today, because you want to know how to do this properly, how to do it effectively, cost effectively as well, and how to use the right tools and make sure that you are compliant on LinkedIn so that you don't get your account suspended or banned from LinkedIn. And this is why I created the AI Accelerator program, which I'm going to talk more about that when we get to the bottom of this. But getting client strategies like this are taught inside our program. We teach this: how to have a digital presence, and how to have an optimized LinkedIn profile, and also how to do this outreach in a deeper depth, if you may. You live with confidence, clarity, and a real plan to find clients. And so there are no guesses here. By the time you leave this program, you know how to find your first clients and how to find it, the kind of conversation you have to do with that. And for this program, we are starting in April. 13th, which is the first cohort. We have only 15 seats available. After the first cohort, the price is going to go up to 997. And so this is an opportunity for, especially for my audience who come to this live sessions, to really take advantage of the early bird price. And so let's go, and I'm going to share those details with you in the description below, and I'll also drop the website link in the chat for you. As a matter of fact, let me do this right away so that you can have that in the chat. So yeah, this is it. And then I'm going to share Waalaxy link with you just in case you want to check it out. When you get a chance, try and sign up right now so that you can test drive it, see how the dashboard looks like, and see how it goes. So yeah, let's move on. And as you know, it's time to go live. This is my favorite part. You know, on this channel, we get our hands dirty. We walk the talk, right? We don't just tell you you have to do this and you have to do that. We do it live on screen for you to see and experience it so that you can practice it alongside us, or you can do it immediately after this class. So without wasting time, I just dropped the link to Waalaxy. You can go to that link and then you can watch me. We can do it together if you want. So without wasting time, if you want to see this and you are excited to for me to do this demo, if you are excited to see this demo, please type "let's go" in the chat so that I know that this is valuable to you. This is the first time I'm asking for a feedback in the chat since I lost my sound. And so please let me know. Let's go. If this is something that you are excited about, you want to see how we use Waalaxy to acquire clients organically on autopilot on LinkedIn. Alrighty, alrighty. So without wasting any time, we're gonna go to the Waalaxy link, and because I'm already signed up with Waalaxy and I'm logged into my account, I am going to open a different browser and show you the website. So this is the Waalaxy website. Hold on one second. This is the home page for Waalaxy. The moment you drop in the link, this is what you are going to get. Let me do this. Let me start all over again. So this is the Waalaxy link I just dropped on the chat. No, let's see. Um, so this, hmm, let me copy this from here. Okay. Right. So this is the homepage of Waalaxy. Uh, you know, it has this nice thing going on here. The pricing is here. I'm not gonna go deep into that, but you can start a free trial here, and then once you're gonna get free 300 invitations per month. You have all these packages going on. Let's start for free. So I'm gonna click on start for free. Once you click on start for free, you need a LinkedIn profile. You need a LinkedIn account. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, don't worry. Just go and create one. It's easy, just like you create a Facebook account, name, password, all that kind of stuff. And then you are going to put your resume. It's like your resume online, on a social platform. And so it's easy to create your own profile. So once you have a LinkedIn account, it's going to integrate with it. So that is how you sign up with Waalaxy. It's going to integrate with your account, and then you're just going to provide it with your email and password, maybe your LinkedIn email, um, email dot example, .com, right? and then you put in your password. So let's assume that this is your LinkedIn credentials email. You put it in and your credentials. You sign in. Now, once you sign in, I'm not going to do that because this is I've already created an account. But once you log in, there is going to be a pop-up which is going to ask you to install a plugin, and this is a Chrome plugin. And let's go to that. So here is Waalaxy. Once you sign in, once you create an account and it's connected to your LinkedIn, it's going to ask you to download a Chrome plugin. And as you can see, once you download the Chrome plugin, you have to make sure that you are in Google Chrome. You are on Google Chrome as your browser. Now, once you get it, you're going to download it. Once you download it, you have to pin it, and this is how you pin it over here. As you can see, you have to pin it by, it's going to change into blue. Usually this is on pin. If I pin it, that is how it's pinned. So that means that it's active all the time. And this is going to ask you use this to open the browser. So I can click this to open the browser, or I would say like open Waalaxy, but I already have it open, so I'm not going to do that. But once you click on the plugin, which is shown up here, you are going to open the web browser. Now, when you get in, this is like your dashboard, right? And so for you guys, if you haven't used this before, it's going to be brand new for you. And over here, you have the home, you have the prospect. Prospect are your list. This is where you bring your campaigns, your search results from LinkedIn. You bring it here. Your campaigns are the prospect which has been connected to the kind of messaging or the kind of approach you want to use for this particular prospect. So I can have prospect A, prospect B, and then I can have campaign A, campaign B, and both campaigns, even though they are targeting the same ICP or the same avatar, they are different campaigns, right? And I'm going to show you that in a second. And then you have the message template. You can store messages as templates and you can queue items. The inbox is where the conversation is going on. So anybody who has responded to you, you are going to see the messages here. The team is where you can add your team, all those kind of stuff, right? Dedicate your VAs and all that. The pricing is here. Now, one thing that you want to do is to come to the settings. This is very important. The moment you get to the dashboard, you want to come to the settings part. Now, the settings part, your LinkedIn account, my LinkedIn account is connected already. So I'm good on that side. Account activities here, this is very important because if you don't pay attention to this part, your account can be suspended. And the reason is that you want to give a quota as to how much you want to, the messages you want to be sending every day, right? For my package, for the subscription I'm on, it allows me 11 invitations every day, which is enough for me. I usually do 20. With my previous tool, I was doing 20, but 11 is still cool for me. I don't have a problem with that. For messages, I'm allowed 150, but just to stay compliant and just to be safe, I've reduced that to uh, 80. You can put this to 100. I kind of did 80. Same thing for the profile visits. And what this means is that I can send them messages, right? 80 messages in a day. I can visit people's profile whilst I'm sleeping. My profile will be crawling on other people's profile, like checking them out and looking at them, endorsing and all that kind of stuff. I had tools that could endorse and even write, like certain some of your skills. Yeah, that's endorsing a skill. And this can do that for you. I can follow people, right? Follow at least maximum of 50 a day. So these are things that you want to set up so that you don't get flagged. The other thing is that how many days do you want to be doing this outreach, right? I pick business days, Monday to Friday, so that weekends, Saturday and Sundays, it doesn't send messages because you don't want them to know that you are using an automation tool, or you don't want LinkedIn algorithm to think that, oh, I mean, it's this guy works 7 days. I mean, people work 7 days, but I kind of, try to do, because my demographic, the kind of people I'm looking for, they usually work Mondays to Fridays. And so you have to decide what works for you, and also the time that I want messages, all the actions to take place. I want it to take place between 6 a.m. to midnight, not more than that, not out of this window. So this is very important here. You have to make sure that you've set up all the requirements that you want your daily maximum quota. Email accounts, we are not dealing with email accounts right now. You have to pay a feature. You also have to get, you can unlock the feature, right, by doing certain things or by going to pay for that. I don't need that because I have a CRM, and the CRM kind of pulls all the information at the back end, so I can still email these people without using Waalaxy. So that is a pro tip for you, right? That you don't have to upgrade to get this, pay extra for that. Integrations, this is where you integrate it with other tools. So you can integrate it with, using API keys, or you can, if your CRM tool is here, then good for you. I have a HubSpot, which I use to collect leads from Waalaxy, and it's a free tool that I'm using. I'm using the free version of HubSpot, but my main CRM is Go High Level, and I wish I could integrate it with the API keys so that all the leads will go in directly, without me exporting them from HubSpot and sending them to Go High Level. I can just integrate, but that means that I have to upgrade my account, which I'm not willing to do that. So all that I do is weekly, I will come in here and then grab my leads and then put them in my CRM tool. If you have Pipe Drive or whatever, it's easy for you to integrate with that. So that is another cool feature. A lot of tools where you have to pay, for Zapier or Make or maybe N8N, an automation tool to help you with automation and invoices and import history. It's not really relevant in this demo. So now, what are we going to do? We are going to create a list. That is the next thing that we are going to do. We are going to find clients on LinkedIn. Now, on LinkedIn, let's assume that, if one of you can drop, any kind of profession that they are in, I can use that to generate a list for this demo. So let's go. Just give me, what you do, and then based on that, or the kind of customers that you are looking for, and we can look through. We can find those clients on LinkedIn right away, and then bring them to Waalaxy and start a campaign. Um, so we can knock this thing out quickly. All right. If I don't get any profession, I'm just going to come up with one. I'm going to use a dentist because I don't want to waste time waiting. I think there is a 1 minute or 30 seconds delay. I'm not sure, but I'm just going to go. We're going to act like we are looking for dentists. I'm an AI consultant looking for a dentist who needs help with AI. And so maybe I have a solution for dental practices. I have maybe a 24/7 receptionist that I want to use. Okay, somebody said a video editor. Okay, so a video editor, let's go with that. So you are a video editor and you are looking for clients. And so this is what we are going to do. I will come to my cloud and say, hey, I am a video editor looking for clients on LinkedIn. Please, who is my ICP, and how can I search for them? So, AI is going to make things easier for you. So I'm using Cloud chatbot. You can use ChatGPT if you want. So it's saying that my credit is done. So I will go and use a different tool. Let me use OpenAI. Um, Then let me ask. I hope I can log in without. I can generate without. Okay, let me just get the code. 003863. All right. Okay, so now let me put in that chat the question and then see what I will get. So it says your ICP, right, which is their ideal client profile for a video editor. You are looking for B2B founders and CEOs, especially in AI marketing and all that kind of stuff, right? Podcast hosts, agencies, marketing. So all these are people that I can search. So let's go right away. The first one is content-driven entrepreneurs, right? B2B founders and CEOs. So we can say that we are looking for B2B founders and CEOs. I will start with this one. I'll pick about three of them. So I go to my regular LinkedIn. What are you looking for? You come here, you just put it in there. You are looking for CEOs, for B2B founders and CEOs. So I do this search. It's going to return some results, right? And these are all founders and CEOs, and most of them might be looking for video editing services for their videos or social media marketing and all that kind of stuff, right? A lot of everybody is posting on Instagram, Twitter, they are running ads and what have you. So everybody needs a video editor in their team. And so what you want to do, you are looking for people, you are not looking for businesses. So you are going to highlight the people, and then that is going to narrow down the leads that you see. Also, you don't want the first connections, right? You want second because first connections are already connected to you. So you want the second. The second are like mutual friends. And then the third are also like a second layer of the mutual friends. So those are the people that you want. If somebody is a second connection to you, then it means that they are also connected to some members in or some people in your network. And so you want to do second, and probably I do third as well. And also what I also want to look for, if I am HR, then I will be looking for people who are actively hiring or something like that. But you want to specify your location. So for here, maybe I would say, United States, United States. I'll pick my country, or I can pick my demographic and I can say show all, right? Or I can go to all filters and show all. But let's say I will do this, right? Once I get this is my list. Okay, I can go into there and apply more filters. So it's up to you what kind of filters you want to apply, but this gives me my list of people that I need, and every page is giving me maybe about 10 people, and I have more than 10, right? So that gives me 100 plus. Now when it comes to LinkedIn, with this search functionality, you don't really get a lot because they have the paid feature, because they want you to pay, they want you to spend money, so they don't give you everything here, right? But this is enough for us to start a campaign, right? So I can copy the URL of this. I take the URL of this one here, and then once I have Waalaxy, I can say that I want to save this list. So let's save this list. So we're going to create a list, and then we're going to name this one video um, video editing yeah, list, or let's say CEOs, no, video editing and then CEOs. You want to identify it, CEOs of B2B, something for you to remember, right? And then I will create, or I can even add it to an existing campaign. But I can tell it, okay, bring all the bring 1,000 people here, and then all that I do is to create. Remember, when you go to your LinkedIn, you are always going to see the Waalaxy plugin. So if you click on a lead, it can ask you to add it straight away to your Waalaxy, or you can create a list. In this case, we use LinkedIn regular account to create this list. And so we can say import. Now, once we click the import, it's going to import it into our stop import, importing prospect into Waalaxy Health. No, stop import. So we don't want this one here. We want to, let me do this again. And yeah, we're going to start. Um, we want to create, a new one. So yes, sorry, I made a mistake. So video editor, B2B owners, video editor, and then we create. Now, once we create this, import, I would say import 1,000 or 250, whatever number you want. I'm just for this training, I'm just going to start with only 20. So I will do import, and it's going to import. This is going to show up in Waalaxy, right? Now, this is the creating a list, which is what we saw in Waalaxy. It has started already importing these people here, as you can see. But let's go here. This is what you saw, right? Now we are going to put this list into prospects, okay? So let's come back here, and we can see the progress. It's importing. No, we've already imported this. So let's close this one. Um, and what we just did this for LinkedIn regular account. Now with Sales Navigator, you even have a bigger fish to fry, right? You are going to even get more. So when you come to LinkedIn Navigator, and if you don't know, you have to sign up for LinkedIn Navigator, but this is my regular LinkedIn, and I can go to my LinkedIn Navigator, which is right here. So if you don't know how to open LinkedIn Navigator, you have to sign up with them first, and there's always a free 1 month free trial, so you can test it for 1 month before you even uh, start paying. So you can always test Waalaxy with LinkedIn Navigator. Try it for the first month. If it makes sense for you to keep it, then you keep it. I recommend that you keep it. I'm using the premium version. I'm paying $120 every month. I might keep it for 2, 3 months and then shut it down and then come back again. But if you have to purchase it for the whole year, then you get it for $89. I don't get anything from LinkedIn or for promoting LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Just a disclaimer out here, but I get something for Waalaxy. If you purchase, I get something small to support the channel. So where you want to be is you want to be in the leads filter tab, right? This is where you want to be. So you are going to put it here. And once again, let me go back and show you how you get to this page. You don't want to be on the account filter, but you want to be on the lead filters, because we are looking for leads, right? So we come here, and then it gives us all the stuff. Now we can go back to our chart and say that, okay, what filters do you want me to use? Now for this, I know that it says B2B owners, right? So let's come here, and then we see B2B founders, especially in AI, and you can use keywords and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I can do a podcast host and find people who are podcasting in LinkedIn. So let's say we are going to use podcast host. This time we are going to use um, LinkedIn Navigator, and I want to ask Claude, or I want to ask ChatGPT, I'm going to use podcast host. So podcast host, I'll copy that. Hey, I want to pros, pros, prospect for um, podcast host using LinkedIn Navigator. Navigator. Give me some filters I can use. And then let's see what it's gonna give us, right? So good choice. Okay, here, say call filters here, podcast host, host of podcast. So we can use all this, right? These are like keywords, and um, I usually use Claude, right? And so Claude understands me. He's been doing this with me all the time. So podcast hosts, these are the keywords that we are going to use. And so I will say that we are going to do so. Geography remains the same. We are going to pick the industry. So let's go. Let's start right away without wasting time. So here, first of all, company, we don't mind maybe company size, current company headcount. Maybe we want a company that is 50 to 100, 11 to 50, sorry. Um, Company type, we don't mind. Headquarters location, we don't mind. We can choose in United States. So let's say here United States. That is the location of the business. We can also say the filters depending on we are looking for CEOs. So we come here. Let's see the industry company headcount here. As I was saying, we selected 50 to 11 to 50 team. So for this demo, and then high intent filters, we want to use last 30 days. This is something that you cannot get on the free version. And also, we don't want people who have changed up in the last 90 days, and then we want this kind of seniors, right? So let's copy this. The seniority level. This is very important because these are the decision makers. And every time I'm very peculiar about this particular one. A seniority level, we want a CEO, we want a director, we want a CXO, vice president. What were some of them? That a founder, CXO, partner, owner, co-owner, those kind of things that we need. So I just selected three just for this demo so that we can move fast. Past job title, years in companies. Sometimes I do at least, between 3 to 5 years so that somebody who is very strong in there. The geography is North America. The industry is also was given to us by ChatGPT. When we scroll up, it's going to tell us the industry, right? The industry, we can say marketing and advertising, and I'll just use two of them, marketing and advertising. I put it here. It's going to come up. Sometimes you just have to use one word, and then the rest, yeah, marketing services. And then I would say information services, information technology, information technology and services. So I'm going to select only two, right? Just to show you this demo. We also want to make sure that, let's go back here. We also want to make sure that we are using the keywords host, right? So I'm going to select some of these keywords, and all that I'm going to do is that it has to be this or that. For the keywords, can you combine them with a string? So I wanted to give me like a search term for the keywords. So it's going to give me a string and it's just going to say either podcast or this or that or that or that or that using the Boolean. Yeah, the Boolean string. This is the search that I am going to use, right? So I copy this. And this is the keyword. All that this is doing is that it's using the Boolean search string to come up with all this stuff instead of typing all this thing one by one, typing this. I can use a variation of this, or I have to list them one by one, right? So I'm using the Boolean. You can also use the combination that we just saw. I didn't even see there. Yes, we can use this combination, podcast host, what they do, and the founder, podcast host and coach. But I'm using the Boolean. So hopefully that is going to give us some better results. So on the keys, word part, you are going to put that there. But before we do that, we haven't finished with the LinkedIn. If you are using LinkedIn Navigator, then one of the things that you have to do, first of all, let's select our second degree and third degree. And then what we also want to do is that we don't want people who have just changed jobs. And this is so important here. This is so important. In the last 30 days, this person has posted on LinkedIn. Now, a lot of people are on LinkedIn, their profiles are dead, right? They haven't been on LinkedIn for more than 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, right? And so they are cold, and they are not going to even see your messages. And guess what? If you have a daily quota of 11, or let's say 20, and your daily quota, 6 of them are going to somebody who is not active on LinkedIn within the last 30 days, guess what? 6 leads are being wasted on a daily basis, right? This is why having an account, a premium account like Sales Navigator is very vital if you are taking this on a serious level. If you are looking for clients for your business to grow generically, to grow organically, this is what you need. You need the paid version of LinkedIn so that you can filter out all these guys. So I'm going to select this one. And then that means that anybody who hasn't been on LinkedIn in the last 30 days is going to be removed. They are going to be removed from this, right? And I can continue to add more search things to it, but I'm not going to do that because we don't have much time here. But you get the point. You know what you're looking for. You can select personas, whatever, the director, CXO. There's so much you can do. Once you finish all this, right, you can go to import, or you can save this search, right? Once you scroll down, you should be able to save this search. Yeah, you can save this search to get notified. So for the purpose of this training, I'm going to save this search, and this search is going to be in my saved searches. Now I can go into my saved searches, and then I will rename it so that I remember. So for instance, we knew that this is a video editor. So all that I need to do is to change the name again so that it becomes easy for me to remember. So video editor, and just to make sure that this campaign, I can remember this campaign, I can add that it's LinkedIn, let's say LinkedIn Navigator, right? I'm just using so that I know, and I'm looking for, podcast. Depending on the search terms, I use podcast and maybe owner, podcast owner, right? Something for you to remember when you look at this campaign. I'm going to copy this name because we are going to use the same name to create the campaign in Waalaxy. So now I've saved this, and what I can do right now is to go back here, and I can import this, right? I've saved this. I can go to my saved searches, and I can view this, and then this is the view window for this. And all that I need to do is to create a new list. And then I come here, and then I'm going to name this, because remember, this name is going to be in Waalaxy. I've saved it here, this name, but it's going to be the same name in Waalaxy. So let's go to Waalaxy. Let's see what is happening over there. So we go to Waalaxy right now, and we are going to see our list, or the prospects, right? The list is called the prospects, and the prospects are here. So once we come here, we are going to see all our imports. So the video editor, The first one we did for the 20, this is it, video editor, B2B founders and CEO. And then we have another one here, which is still important. Did we import? I think we didn't import. Yeah, we didn't import. So this one also has 1165, and we just have to hit import. How many do we want to import? You can do 50, 100, whatever. I would say 10 for this one so that it will import it quickly. And then we can go back to our Waalaxy. Now we are importing, this is our list. Now, a list is just what we created on LinkedIn, which has been imported into Waalaxy, right? You need a campaign to attach to the list for it to work. So the campaign is like the messaging. How do we want to approach these people? What do we want to tell them and all that kind. So we are going to take this because this has finished importing itself. So we want to create, let me see here. Okay. So we want to create a campaign, B2B editor, video editor. So let's go to campaigns here. And then all that we want to do is to create a new campaign. As you can see, I already have two campaigns running, and then I have one on pause, right? This is a campaign that was running. I paused it because I want to concentrate on these new campaigns that I'm running, and both of them are active. And as you can see, they are all MSPs, but one is legal. So IT companies that are targeting the IT healthcare companies, and we have IT companies that are targeting legal companies like the law office and all that kind of stuff. So you have to come up with naming convention for your campaigns and your list so that you know what they are just looking at them, right? So now we want to create a new campaign. We want to start a new campaign. So this is the campaign that we want to create. Now there are some templates. You can do it by yourself, or you can use templates that you have, and you can do only invitation, which is just going to send them an invitation and that's it, right? Or you can do invitation plus messages plus other stuff, or you can do just message networks alone, or you can do this. I usually do invitation with messages, right? So this is what we are going to do, and it's going to show us a couple of templates that we want to use. But first of all, we have to name our campaign. So usually the best way to do it is to do name it the same way you named your list. So I think it's B2B video editor, something like that. You know, video editor. I should have copied the name, but we create a campaign, and then what it's going to do is that it's going to ask us: are we going to take it from our list that we've done, from auto imports, or we are going to take it from LinkedIn? Right? I can go to LinkedIn and pull the saved list from LinkedIn, or I can say from my list because I've already built the list. I've imported the list here, and auto import it's different. So let's go to the list, and it's going to give us a drop. And so we pick that list, and it's telling us that it's yes, it's the 20 prospect. We can either select this or the 20, or we can say that help me. No, I want to pick the people I want. And that is going to give you all the list, and you can select them manually if you want. So here we're just going to go with yes, add, or do you want to add a note to help you, or to maybe give your this is the invitation, right? So do you want to add a note if you are sending a message? I said no. I normally want to connect, and that's it. Do you want to add? So people have like, hey, I saw you in this space. I saw that you are a coach or a consultant, and I saw that you work with videos a lot, and I just wanted to connect so that I could share what is working in the industry. Any kind of message that is not any kind of message that is not going to. Can you guys hear me? I see no sound from somebody, so I'm not sure if you can hear me. But I think My sound is on, so please let me know. Yes. So, do we want to add an invitation, a note to the invitation that we are sending people, the connection request? Do we want to say something? Sometimes you want to say something to introduce yourself. Sometimes you don't want to. Usually, some of them I do, some of them I don't. So I would say, yeah, I would say no, let's go. And then there's a template, what do I want to do after 1 day? After 1 day, what do I want to do? Do I want to delay and send them a message 2 days after or whatever? Okay, I say, okay, we send the invitation and then we delay 1 day when they accept before we can start talking to them. So usually I leave it at 1 day. Once they accept, what's going to happen? So there is a delay here, and then you go the message, right? Now, what do you want to say? I have some templates of messages that I've already done. Any message that you do, you can save it as a template. Once you name it, it's going to be a template. So I would say that, hey, the first day, or I can come to my chat GPT and say that I want to create a campaign for 3 messages to this lead. Please don't make this salesy. I want to establish trust with my leads. So it's going to give me a 3 message template, I mean, messages for me to follow. And usually, you don't want this to be too long. You just want, the first time they connect, hey, my name, I came across your podcast and really liked your episode on topic, blah, blah, blah. Always good to see more creators putting out solid content. Thought I'll connect, right? Now, this will be the introduction message that I talked about, right? Which some people do, like the invitation message. What do you want to add, right? So I said no, but here we want to add something. So we will say that, name, hi, name, and this uses variables. So we can replace it with a variable, which is the first name here. I came across your podcast and really liked your episode on blah blah the topic. You put the topic in there, whatever it is, or maybe for and so your episode on, let's say, your company, right? On company. So here, instead of this topic, we're going to replace it with a variable here, and say that company name, right? Okay, so company name, it wants me to say that. I don't know why, but let's on your company name. Um, yeah, so let's use this variable and see again. It's supposed to work without any. Let me see. Dot I'll connect. So this will be I came across your podcast and really liked your episode on blah 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 on, let's say, XYZ. Always good to connect, and it also checks your message and tells you don't do this, don't do that. Maybe the message is too long and all that kind of stuff. This is something that is great for you. It tells you everything over here. And once you do that, you confirm it over here. And this is going to stay, right? And then the first message is going to be, how many days do we want to wait? We said 1 day. So we connect, we send the invitation. As soon as they connect with us, we wait 1 day, and then we are going to send them the second message. Yeah. So, hey, first name, A first name. I appreciate the connection, right? Because remember, we are just connecting after the connection. So, hey, first name, and we're going to use hey name. I appreciate the connection, right? Because I'm not using the variable, it's giving me a warning here. That means that I have to change. So you know that everything you are doing is being checked and it's okay. Blah 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 blah. I checked out a bit more on your podcast. Solid stuff. Quick question. Are you handling all the video editing and clips yourself? Right away, you are starting an open ended conversation. You don't look salesy, but you are being curious. You want to help. You want to see how are they doing their video editing? Are they outsourcing and do they have in-house? Whatever, this might lead to you getting that job because you didn't come at selling something, but you came as trying to be curious, trying to help, trying to see if there is an opportunity for you to help them. And that is how you do organic marketing so that you don't sound salesy and it brings more trust. And so we're going to confirm. And then how many days do we want to wait till we send another message? Maybe we want to wait 3 days, 2 days, So I would say we want to wait another 2 days and then next, and then we want to add another message. And so we go back to our message and ChatGPT can even tell you how many days you have to wait. Like over here, it's telling us to wait 1 day, right? And then these are the things that we have to do. Message three, we have to wait how many days? 2 to 3 days, right? So, by the way, one thing I noticed, right? And so this is going to be another message that we are going to send to them. And then we come here. And by the way, one thing I noticed from a lot of podcast creators, short clips is usually blah blah way better when first, so now you are educating this person, right? And then curious if you've been experimenting with that yet. Now, what is going to be your final thing? And all these messages will be going if they don't respond to you. The moment they respond, automation stops because then you have that opportunity to start engaging them. So if you think that your next message makes sense, you can keep on adding, let the automation continue. But if you think that they respond to you, your follow-up message, your follow-up message might not necessarily, you know, answer their question if they ask the question, or maybe they told you that they are not interested, or maybe they don't do this anymore. So please, stop bugging me. And if your next message follows automatically right there, you don't look professional. It means that you are spamming them and all that kind of stuff. So the moment they respond to you, the automation ceases, it stops, and then you have to continue manually, or you can go back to the automation. So let's say we save this, right? Now, remember, once we do this, then we have a checkup. So let's say your last message, you can say that, can you is getting on a call or whatever you want to say to close your message, right? The last minute is getting on a 15-minute call, ideal for you. You want to send something, or maybe you add your calendar, right? Add your calendar for them to book. I usually don't do that. I would try and get your information and book it for you, because most of the time you tell them, you give them your calendar, they don't book it. They've got busy, a lot of stuff going on. People don't have time for you. They don't care, right? So you want to take their information and book that time for them. And so whatever you want to put, you put over there. Now, me, I can go on for maybe with about 5 messages, and the last one is, you are not responding to me, and this hardly happens. But if that person doesn't respond to all the 5 messages, then that is what is going to happen. At the last minute, I'll say I'll stop bugging you. But anytime that you are looking for any IT lead acquisition with, for your IT services, please don't hesitate to ping me, or, shoot me a message or something like that. And then boom, I get that. Now, this was just a standard template that we use. We have other templates that go to their profile to like them and all that. Let me show you that. Now, before we leave this page, Waalaxy also has an AI part, right, where you fill it in and then it comes up with the messages for you. But this is not something that I use, but it has an AI buddy that can help you with messaging. But I don't really depend on that because I can get a full blown automation instruction on my ChatGPT or my Claude. So we're going to confirm this, and this once we confirm this, all that we need to do is to launch the campaign, and it's going to start contacting these people. If he has to go and like their profile, he's going to contact like their profiles. And so I'm going to show you a typical automation that I've built because we don't have the time to build that right now. I'm going to show you I'm not going to launch this campaign. I'm going to show you one of my campaigns, save and quit. I will save this and quit. And then I'm gonna go to one of these campaigns, right? One of them has 1433 and then 2164. Now, this campaign, what it does is this is the overview, right, of the campaign. So the first thing the campaign does is that it will visit the person's profile, right? It visits the person's profile and it does it naturally. That's what people do. If you want to connect with somebody, you look at their profile and then I delay the same day, I follow them because I like their profile and I delay one day. Once I follow them, the next day I send an invitation, but I don't add any message, right? I don't add any message. I wait for them to respond. And then once they respond, I wait one day and then start with my messages. So I send message one, message, I wait, and then message two. And all this is waiting, no response. And then I send another message. The moment they respond, the automation starts. Most often than not, they will respond by the third message, and then that conversation begins, or they tell you that they are not interested, and you let them be, right? And then it finishes. So this is how this template looks like, and you can find it in the template when you are starting a campaign. It's going to ask you, we didn't get that, but if you go to start a campaign, these are all the campaign models. We selected invitation with only two messages, right? But we can go to this and we can select all the things that I was telling you about. You can select, you want to select, you are doing a LinkedIn promotion, and it's not an email, because Waalaxy also has an email blasting feature, but I don't use it for mass emailing. So it's just for LinkedIn. So you can pick LinkedIn, and then you want to do messages. I want to visit them. I'm going to integrate it with my CRM, and I'm going to send them invitation. Yes, maybe. So I pick these four things. And how many messages do I want? Do I want to send only two messages after doing all these activities like visiting their page and liking them and all that kind of stuff? How many messages? How many emails? We are not dealing with emails here. It's only emails, right? It's only messages. So maybe you select three messages. I usually go five, so four plus. It is telling me that based on the options that I've selected, it doesn't have that. So maybe I go to three, right? And this is what I have. I will visit CRM sync, invitation, and then three messages, right? I can remove this CRM sync from my filters, and maybe I will get more. So, I get visit, follow, connect, and three messages. This is like my favorite one. I love this one. Or you can visit, and then you send invitation plus three messages. So you select which you want, and you can preview it to see, right? You can see how the campaign flow looks like, or the workflow looks like. That is how it is. And every time you log into your Waalaxy, this is what you are going to see. And this is one of the things I love about Waalaxy. A lot of these tools out there don't give you the metrics, right? So now I have 6,508 6,857 connections. I have 468 invitations sent. Do you know how long this would take you to do it? I have all these invitations sent. They weren't sent on one day, but they were sent on different days. But this all these people are waiting. Just assume tomorrow I wake up and all these people accept, right? I'm going to have an extra of 468 people who are going to be warm leads who might purchase from me, who might get my services, and also prospecting status. We have two active campaigns going on. We have 3,519 queued actions, and all these queued actions could be likes, visiting profiles, sending messages, people in queues, and all that kind of stuff. 21 invitations accepted so far for these two campaigns that I'm running. I started running these campaigns on I think last week Friday, so the whole of the weekend wasn't. It just started Monday, and 21 messages have been accepted, and there are 468 in the pipeline. Obviously, from the previous tool that I was using, it's all cumulative. But maybe I've sent about since Monday to today, I've sent about, let's say, 20 something or 30 something for this campaign, right? Actions that have been sent, messages that have been going back and forth, 1059 profile visits and 667 follows. So this gives you all the metrics. If you have email connected, then you will be receiving emails as well. And this is your inbox. When people respond to you, you don't have to go into your LinkedIn. You can be responding and having conversation with them right here without going. So all this one, for instance, you can see that I've been sending them message, right? They are not responding. The moment they respond, this is going to stop. So I'm saying that, Thomas, last question, and I'll stop bugging you, right? Are you actively looking to add another client acquisition channel right now, or is what you are doing, or is what you are doing working well enough? It's what you are doing working well enough for you. If they don't respond, the last message is like, I'm going to stop, bugging you. And some people are not interested. Some people might not have logged in, they are on vacation, so they come back, they are going to respond to you. So this is how Waalaxy works, and it makes things very easy for you. If I want to go and see all these leads which have been connected, I'm not going to show that on this, but I can log into my CRM and I'm going to see all these leads. The moment they connect with me, they become a lead and they are automatically uploaded into my CRM, and I can send them, after that, I can send them an email without being against any rules, because they connected with me and I have their information. So now when I connect with them, it's not going to be cold emailing or it's not going to be spamming. It's something that they agreed to it for me to send them messages. And so that is what we have so far. And I hope that this was valuable to you. Sorry that I had to go over because of what happened with the sound. But I hope this was valuable to you and this was good. Please let me know. Give me some thumbs up over here in the chat. Let me know that this was valuable to you. And let's move on to the next slide, and we are going to call it a day. So this is what we've covered so far today. It's been a long day. We did LinkedIn, number one platform, which is a platform for all business people. Is the Facebook for business owners, for professionals, and what have you. Waalaxy is the one of the best tools out there for LinkedIn automation or LinkedIn prospecting. If you can add Sales Navigator to it, it makes it a monster. It puts it on steroids, right? You can use it without Sales Navigator, or you can add it to it. It's still going to be cheaper than running paid ads, which you really don't have much control on. And organic always wins. You are going to build very trusted customer base, and the system is just unstoppable, and it's always going to get better and better and better. And having Claude or ChatGPT in the mix is going to make your campaigns better. You are going to come up with good messaging and all that kind of stuff. So yes, if this was good to you, if you really like this and you want to take a test drive, For Waalaxy, you can start free, and I'm going to drop the link again. This is my affiliate link, and as you know, I get some commission from it when you purchase. From there, it doesn't increase your price. This is just a small token for me helping to showcase what this tool can do, and also this goes a long way to support the channel. And if you saw this and you thought that, oh, this is something that I would like to learn more about this, and I want to take this to the next level and go deeper and even have a better campaign and put this like on autopilot and scale this, then this is why we have the AI Freedom Accelerator, and the first cohort starts on April 13th, right? And what you just learned here today is one of the strategies that we teach inside this program. And this is not a program where you log in online and then you go and do things on your own. This is a live settings where we do things like we are doing now, get our hands dirty and figure things out. And most new consultants and business owners have no idea how to find their first clients. Everybody's complaining, but if you can get the system dialed in, this is going to bring you some good leads, which will turn into loyal clients. And you leave complete, you leave the program with a plan and a digital presence and a 90-day plan roadmap as to how you are going to start your own AI business or how to better yourself if you are a tech professional who doesn't, and if you want to start a business as well, we're going to help you to come up with a business idea in the AI domain based on what you already know. You are not going to start something new because AI is here to really make us smarter doing what we already do manually. So it's not going to replace you, but it's going to make you better. And there's no more guessing, no more chasing, just clear, confident path forward to find clients. So when you are in this program, you also learn how to find clients for your consulting business if you should start one. So this is why the AI Freedom Accelerator program is really one of the programs out there at the moment, which gives you the blueprint, it clears the fog, and gives you clarity of how to approach this AI revolution and also be part of it. And you can visit the website, which is aifreedom.ericbiggs.com. And I'm going to drop in the link here. Early bird is 497. The next cohort is going to increase to 997. So this is the best opportunity. This is a 6-week program that you can join, and it's a weekly program. We meet every weekdays nightly, and within an hour and a half, we package something and then we move on to the next week. And this is going to be very intuitive. There's going to be other people in the class to share their ideas. And so I hope to see all of you there so that you can get your blueprint as to what you have to do next with your AI ambitions. And as usual, if you like this, please like it, share it with your network, and keep coming back. Subscribe to the channel if you are not a subscriber yet. And also comment in the comment section, not in the chat section, but in the comment section. This helps for the algorithm to bring us up on the search engines on YouTube. And also, if you want to work with me, I have a 30-minute free consultation. Just come, let's talk about your dreams, your aspirations, what you want to do with AI, what you want to do with digital marketing. Come, let's talk. My doors are always open. And on that note, all that I can say now is keep being you and stay luminous. And see you next week, same time, 11 a.m. EST and 3 p.m. GMT. On that note, thank you very much for your time again. And thank you for your presence. And thank you for your support. God bless. Namaste.